Hi guys, I am here to talk about Uber. I freaking love it. It has totally changed my life. After a devastating loss of a business that I started from an absolute horrible landlord, I won't bore you with that. Our building fell apart, and I frankly fell apart. It was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. And I'm blessed that that is, to date, the worst experience of my life. So I don't want to. I feel a lot of people, if you go through a hard time, somebody else is always going through something harder. So it's not that I am complaining, I guess. It was rough. I don't want to start crying, but we went through some hard times there. But anyways, that aside, I didn't exactly know what to do with my life. I had just turned 40. I have an almost 13-year-old and an almost 15-year-old, two girls, and I wanted to be home with them. I have no college education. Just always kind of worked hard my whole life, and it's always kind of worked out for me, except when things are kind of out of your hands and you're like, what did I do wrong? So I wasn't at a place, I put in some job applications, but I wasn't in a place in my life where I felt like I didn't know what direction to go. So I signed up for Lyft first, actually, and then I signed up for Uber after, because I heard that I have an 06 Jeep Commander, so I heard that my car was too old for Uber at first, but it ended up being approved through Uber before it was Lyft. But anyways, I do carry them both, and my boyfriend that travels a lot, I'm able to go with him now and drive out of state with Lyft. Here's the thing, though. I was very, not embarrassed. I told people, but a lot of people that I told are like, "Oh, really? Wow, you have so much talents. Why would you do that?" And I mean, I could still do that kind of stuff, what I was doing before that, but I just kind of had a bad taste in my mouth with the whole experience. So it's just something that I had to let go for now. Not forever, probably, but mentally I had to move on and find a new direction in my life. So anyways, as in doing that, I took a couple rides, and then after I took the few rides, I drove for about a few weeks, and I made some money, and I started getting excited. After that, the window in our latch and our freaking Jeep broke. I literally pushed a button and the window in the back fell down. So whenever there's something weird and random that needs to be broken and nobody's ever heard of, I managed to know how to break that kind of stuff. So we were down for about a week, not driving then, and then during that week I had some form of a fluid in my ear, wasn't infected, and ended up causing me to have vertigo. So I was down with that for another week. So in saying all that, I started to get discouraged again. So I whenever you're down in luck or anything, you need something to grab onto, and I need something fast. I think waiting around, putting in job applications, and which is totally fine, and something that you have to do. Uber has allowed me to get up within I think a week or whatever that my approval rate was. I was able to get up and just go start making money and feel like I was contributing to my family household, and just feel like a person again, instead of standing there with your hand out going 40 years old with two kids, and you have a boyfriend, and he's been a complete lifesaver and completely supportive, but you want to contribute. So anyways, this week I the vertigo is gone. Can't drive with that, clearly. And people that have that, my mom suffers from it. It's horrible. But anyways, I did 2 of my Uber Eats deliveries today. Didn't get any ride requests, except my third call was a ride request. Picked this guy up, and it came up, his name was written in Chinese. So when I picked him up, I was anticipating, not to have any conversation really, or limited, because I was assuming that his English would be a little bit broken. And I was right. His English was broken, but he literally jumped in the car. Sweet guy, jumped in the car. His name is Long, Long. Jumped in the car, and it's 87 here. I think it's supposed to be in the 90s some today. Anyways, it's hot if you're in Ohio. If it's humid and gross, clearly. Get the windows up and the air conditioning on, like I do. Got in, it goes. I tell all my customers, let me know if you're too hot, too cold, whatever. And he's like, oh, cold. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he starts telling me he's from China, Shanghai, I believe. And he said that in his neighborhood, you cannot, when you're driving on the roads, you have to keep so many people there. I think we have 23,000 in the town I live in. But he said when you drive, it's just so much, the smog and everything is just too much. So you have to ride with the windows up. So he was just like a little kid, just sweet as could be, just like, oh my gosh, windows down. He liked the fresh air. I was a little warm, but to see somebody's face light up over the simplest little thing is fresh air, even on a humid day. It was refreshing. So anyways, the fare to take him from his house anyways to this car dealership, he wanted to go to a Ford dealership to look for a car. He had 4 cars in China where he lives. He had 4 in this household, he said. So here he was trying to find something, and had I known, I would have stopped him and just not wasted an hour of our time. He paid me for my time very graciously, because I sat at the dealership waiting for him for an hour. But he went to get a new Ford. Then when I found out, he's living here part-time until he moves here, but he wanted something around $2,000 to $3,000 just to put around, so he didn't have to do Uber. Clearly I wouldn't have taken him to a brand new Ford dealership where he came back and was a little shocked. It was $50,000 for the F-150 that he loved, by the way. So anyways, excuse me. Long story short is I spent the afternoon with this man, a stranger that I had never met, from another country, which I just find so interesting. I love to hear about people and their travels and where they've been. I met a pilot that was from Dubai. He was a really sweet guy, and he, on his bucket list deal, was to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I think is so funny that Dubai is absolutely extraordinarily beautiful, and his bucket list was to see something in the town, close to where I live. But I spent the day with this guy, and when we left, the point of this story is, in letting you know this, is it was so sweet when he left, and he was thanking me for helping him and, staying with him and taking him to 2 different stops and blah, blah, blah. I passed a couple Uber rides up, but it was worth it. It was totally fine with me. I wasn't using any gas. I was sitting there. But he told me when he left, he's like, how do I get a hold of you, kind of deal? And I'm like, well, I could give you my phone number. So anyways, I got my phone out and we switched it, and I found out if you hold a 0 in it, turns to a plus, and you have to hit 88 or 86, and that's calling China. So I called him. Anyways, I'm in his phone anyway. So we exchanged information, and he wanted me to let him know if he found a car. If I found a car, to let him know or whatever. But not only that, and I said, oh yeah, if I hear of a car place, I'll let you know. He goes, oh no. He goes, for helping me, you come to China, and you call me, and I show you around my city, and I take care of you while you're there. The point of the story is, there's people, especially with the closed borders, the whatever. I'm totally for all the safety checks that President Trump is doing, although they might seem harsh. Because I don't really know what the solution might be, but I do know one solution, that instead of, I'm off social media, off of Facebook, Instagram randomly. I'm on Pinterest, but that's Pinterest. Pinterest is like a drug. It's freaking amazing, right? But where I'm at in life is, you hear so much on the news, the radio, the whatever. There's a man from China in my car. We left with a handshake, and he, hands together, thank you very much. Thank you. You come to China, and I take care of you. And I told him, which got us to that point, I said, if I was ever in another country where I didn't know my way around, or didn't know the ins and outs, or didn't know, anything, I would want somebody to lend a hand out and grab a hold and take care of them, So while we're fighting over borders and whatever the new fight of the day is, maybe we should take a little bit of time as human beings ourselves to help somebody like that today. I turned down a ride. I ended up turning my Uber app off and sitting, and I ended up making from this guy for like an hour and a half, I think $31. Totally fine with that. I sat there, made sure he got to his next destination, and he thanked me and whatever. But there's people in our country that are here now that might need to know how to navigate, that might choose to live here, that, like this man, was going to be moving his family here, and he'd already picked out summer camps for his son that's 8, I believe, in schools and stuff like that. But stop posting on social media, or, oh, our president's dumb, or, oh, this is stupid, or, Hillary's crooked, or this person's crooked. The whole world's crooked. You're going to constantly run into people that are crooked. What changes the world is you. You have the opportunity. Now, with my job, clearly, I'm going to meet a bunch of random people from all over the world, especially I do a lot of airport runs. So, I'm meeting people, like I said, a pilot that lived in Dubai, a lot of, people from out of, not in my state, like that are in the United States, but there's a lot of people that are in the actual other countries that come here. And, when media rules the roost, and we all go back and forth, oh, that's fake news, that's not fake news. At the end of the day, you're responsible for being fake or real when it comes to interacting with people. This guy could have, and I don't know because I didn't get into politics with him because I chose not to. As a rule of thumb, I just think it's a bad idea. But I do think that no matter what condition and what our country's in, or who we think is doing a good job or who we don't think is doing a good job, or what's real news or what's fake news, what we have to realize is every day we're faced with some opportunity to make somebody's life better, to make somebody's life easier, to to reach out and put your hand out to somebody. And this man was from China, and he loved the country, and he said everybody's been so friendly. So hard telling what, well, we know it's not hard telling. Everybody knows what you hear online or on stupid Facebook or whatever. This man, I hope, goes back to China and knows that he's in my phone as a contact. I've never called China before, but it literally said calling China. It said China on there. But he's in my phone. So I have my first person from another country that's offered me to come. Oh, you come stay with me. I show you around. And bless his heart, I took time out of my day to do that, and it takes no time at all. If you see somebody struggling in life, and I really reach out to the Uber people, because Uber and Lyft also, it's the same gig, so I'm assuming, I'll meet the same different variety of clientele, but we are the new voice of this country. We are what this country stands for by being a nice person, by showing somebody around, by taking the initiative, just saying, if you see somebody that has broken English, or you picked them up at the airport, or know that they're new, is there anything that I can help you make your stay better? We can all sit there and complain about every single thing that goes on, or I can't wait till this president's gone. Tomorrow we're not promised, but today we are. So I encourage all Lyft drivers, Uber drivers, and any driver really that's in this industry that has cab drivers, anybody that has the opportunity to make a conversation, to make somebody feel like, hey, just because I'm from this country doesn't mean that you'll be treated like the media portrays that you're treated. And at the end of the day, I think everybody's goal is to live harmonious together. And who knows? This man could move here and have a great life, and maybe he chose to settle here because he knew from his Uber driver, whoever, he seemed a little frustrated with the car dealership place, but I'm with him. I'm sitting there talking to him, and he shook my hand. He did this, thank you very much, and offered me a home in his home, And I'm not saying to do that necessarily. I'm not going to call him up and say, hey, I'm coming to China, me and the fam, and move over, pull out the roll-out couch for us. But I'm just saying, I would do that for somebody. Can you imagine going to another country, not being able to speak their English, not knowing anything, not knowing that you get a good deal here, that means you're going to get ripped off or whatever? There's just a lot of things that we as human beings that don't have titles, that don't hold offices, that might be as simple as just driving an Uber to make somebody's day and to show the world, one person at a time, what this world is really about. So stop reading it. Stop sharing posts or quotes or my person's better than your person. I can't wait till this person gets out of office. He's one person. And although I do have respect for the man, he's doing an impossible job. Nobody likes him, but he's still showing up to work. I would have bailed a long time ago because I don't have the strength to take the beating that he has. But just know that the people that are here, Uber drivers especially, do your part. Offer an extended hand to somebody. See what you can do to help. By any means, don't screw yourself over. Nobody wants that. You can't trust everybody, but you can always lead with the best foot forward. And in my case, it worked. Made $31. Not a killing, but I enjoyed a few hours with a nice man from another country, and we exchanged a handshake, We exchanged good conversation, even though it was a little hard to understand at times. It was so much fun, and it's Friday. I'm about to get my kids, and we're about to go shopping for the day, and my weekend's going to start off great. All because of some stranger that I picked up, helped out, and just extended some of the knowledge that I had about cars and all that kind of stuff with dealerships and whatnot. But yeah, it's that simple. So get off your Facebook. Stop posting that, oh, this president stinks. What did you do today to change the situation besides complaining about it? That's the real question. Have a great weekend. Bye.